Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So, okay. So I hope you remember that in my previous class I have started my discussion on quantitative techniques, whereby I already briefed you about the syllabus part. If I correctly remember, that I also,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I also showed the syllabus which is divided into 5 units. And unit number one is a very fundamental unit which we call it as functions, and then later on we have differentiation and integration. So initial part of the discussion is about function, right? What is this function all about? What is the application of function? uh, Let me start with some very fundamental part. uh, if you recall, I have already discussed this point with you, that the entire purpose of this exercise is that we would like to equip you with the skill of converting management problem into mathematical problem. So various categories, various types of problem of management, be it HR, be it marketing, be it operations, whatever it is, you need to convert them into mathematical expressions, and then we have to find out that solution. So converting a mathematical problem and then into a mathematical expression, that is, the intention of the, and that is the sole motto, that is sole objective of the discussion. Now, how to convert into mathematical expression? This is with the help of numbers like 5, 6, 7, 8, like this, and then we associate these numbers with the letters like X, Y, Z, and T. And then when we combine them, for example, 3x plus 5y plus 4z, and then we put the sign of equality or inequality, for example, equal to 8. So it takes a shape of mathematical expression. So the first lesson that we all have learned in our school days is writing the mathematical expressions. So the whatever you have learned in your school days about mathematical expressions are nothing, but that is the practice, that is the exercise of converting a real life problem into mathematical problem. That is the point. Same we are going to apply here with some basic, concept, and then moving on the important part, that is the application of it. So I'm sharing, because it is not possible to understand what I'm going to discuss with you until and unless I write something and I tell you what actually I want to show you. So I'm opening my Word file, a blank Word file, and then with the help, I will try to make you understand what actually I'm going to discuss. Please allow me to share my screen with all of you. Okay.
Okay.
यतेंद्र भाई शुरू हो जाओ.
Is my Word file visible to you? A blank file? Are you able to see
Yes,
that
sir.
blank?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Absolutely
sir.
visible.
It's visible.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Sir, it is.
Yes, sir.
fine. I request all of you to kindly put yourself on mute mode so that I will not be hearing any disturbance from there. Okay. Keep yourself on mute. Now, this is actually we want to discuss with you, which is we call it as functions, right? I'm just keeping it in a more louder way. This is our purpose, right? And I'm telling you that we have numbers 5, 6, 8, right? 9, 10, something like that. And then we put the mathematical expression like X, like Y, like Z, like T. These are what we call them as, these are the numbers. These are the numbers. And this representation, X, Y, Z, and T, what do we call them in our language? In our language, we call them as variables. So the first term that you come across is this, which we call it as variable. Variables are nothing, but they are the main dimensions of the problem. We call them as dimensions, right? We call them as variables, and you will get more clarity about these variables and dimensions with the help of examples. So I will show you some very apt and very relevant example with the help of which you understand what do you mean by variables and what do you mean by these numbers. The purpose is that we combine them and we get into like this one 5x, right? Then we have, for example, 8, for example, 8y. For example, we have 9z, 9z. And then we put the sign of equal. And in between 5x plus 8y, we put like for example plus. Here we put, for example, minus. And then I put equal to, for example, 10. So you see what I have done. I have combined the numbers with these English letters x, y, z, and t, and we have 5x plus 8y minus z equal to 10. This expression which I am showing you is nothing. We call them as mathematical expressions. Mathematical. Our entire job is that we would like to convert the real life problem of business organization into this mathematical expressions. We have this one, mathematical expression. And finally, the purpose of writing these mathematical expression is what? We are looking for solutions. This is what we have. We are looking for solutions. Now, what is the solution stands for? What is the solution? We want to know the value of x. We want to know the value of y. And we want to know the value of, for example, z in this problem. So knowing the values of x, y, z, which we call them as variables or unknown, at times we also call them as unknown. This is, the whole exercise is all about. So I'm repeating that we have numbers, which we all know. We combine them with variable. That results into mathematical expressions. And once we form the mathematical expressions, our job is that we are looking for the solutions. What do you mean by solution? We want to find the value of x. We want to find the value of y. We want to find the value of z, because they are nothing but they are the unknowns. They are the unknown. Now, in the technical language, what we are saying is that we are writing the mathematical expressions into some more suitable and in a more simple way, what I would call it as. Now, before I move ahead, I would like to tell you that every subject has its own language. Every subject has its own grammar. Every subject has its own style of writing. And you have to understand that subject in its language, expression, grammar, and terminology. Same is true with mathematical analysis also, that when we talk about mathematical analysis, it has its own language. Like I use the word variables. I use the word mathematical expression. I am using the word solution. These are nothing but the mathematical, the language. And writing down in the form of 5x and 8y and 9z and then putting them equal to 10 is the style of writing it, is the way of writing it. It's a grammar of writing it. So basic skill that is required at this point of time is that how well versed you are with the terminology and how good you are in writing the expressions in their terms. That is the sole purpose of the discussion right now. We have started our discussion with this term function. मैंने जो बात करना शुरू करा था, तो I told you that I'm going to discuss with you the function. Right now, nothing is coming out in the form of functions. I'm just focusing on mathematical expressions. So how do functions comes into picture? What is the role of the function? And first of all, do you understand the meaning of function? What is this functions all about? In order to make you understand this point, I'm just putting one variable x here, and then I am putting another variable y. Right? X and y. These are the two. Now what I'm doing, I'm putting the value of y, for example, I'm putting the value of x2. Then after, I'm putting the value as 3. Then after, I'm putting the value as -1. And after putting the value of x, 2, 3, and minus us, I just want to see, does there any change? Is there any change in the value of y? For example, after putting the value of x is equal to 2, the value of y will become, for example, 9. After putting the value of x is equal to 3, the value of y will become 12. After putting the value of x is equal to minus 1, the value of y, for example, become 8. So if by putting the value of x, there is a change in the value of y, that indicates that x is the function of y. X is the function of, मैं अपनी बात फिर repeat कर रहा हूँ. I have taken x and y. I am putting the value of x. And after putting the value of x, I'm saying, I'm looking, will there be any change in the value of y? And suppose if by putting the value x is equal to 2, the y will become 9. By putting x is equal to 3, the y will become 12. Or by putting x is equal to minus 1, the y will become 8. That means the value of y changes with the value of x. This change in the language of mathematical analysis, we call it as x is a function of y. X is a function of y. So, I'm sorry, y, I'm putting it here. Y is a function. Y is changing the value, this. Y is the function. Sorry, small correction. Y is the function of x. Because the value of y changes by putting the value of x. So, y is a function of x. And how do I write it down in the expression? The expression will become y equal to f in bracket x. ये आपने symbol, ये expression आपने बहुत बार देखा होगा. This is the meaning. This is the way of writing it down. If somebody is writing in this example, z is a function of t. So that means z is a function of t. If I'm writing like this, t is a function of q. This is what we have. So this expression, y is a function of x, z is a function of t, t is a function of q. These are nothing but the mathematical representation of this statement that y is a function of x. और क्या मतलब है y is a function of x? You put the value of x and you are getting the value of y. You are putting the value of t and you are getting the value of z. You are putting the value of q and you are getting the value of t. This concept of function is very, very important function. Most of you in some class or the other, you have come across with this concept of function. I mean, not only in mathematics, if those who have a science background in physics also, you have learned a lot of functions. Here, this concept of function is very much applicable in business organizations. What type of functions we are talking about? That is our agenda of the discussion. Just to create an interest into the discussion, I wish to discuss with you that in business organizations also there are various types of functions. Like you are learning in your paper of accounting the concept of cost. We have cost. Cost is also a function for us. Similarly, profit is also a function. Similarly, revenue. These are some very, very important functions which we come across in the business organization, and cost, profit, and revenue. And then we have the concept of, for example, break even, and all,
Sir, just a question. Like, sir, you have told that. Sir, you have told that f parenthesis y equal to f parenthesis x. So x is a function of y. So in that case, suppose we have
no. Y is a function of x. If you see my
yes.
function of x, yeah.
Yes, sir. So sir, suppose we have y equal to f parenthesis fx. So in this case, y will be a function of fx, right?
Y is the f is the symbol. F is the representation. Y is a function of in bracket x. Similarly,
that is like suppose y equal to f, then parenthesis fx. So in that case, y will be a function of fx. There are no f. There are suppose y.
For example, you are saying y equal to function, and you are putting a small f and x x, x. Is this what you are saying?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, okay. Whatever there in the bracket, जो भी bracket में होता है, that means that this is a function of this. Okay. One more terminology that I would like to tell you with the help of this expression, that y is a function of x. That means the value of y depend on the value of x. I'm repeating. I'm saying y is a function of x. That means the value of y is dependent on x. The value of z is dependent on t. The value of p is dependent on q. And that is why we have x as independent variable.
Okay.
X as independent variable, right? And y as dependent. Independent. So we have this expression also, variable, and y as dependent. ये भी बहुत important expression है. X is independent and y. So x is independent, y is dependent. Here t is independent, z is dependent. Here q is independent and p is dependent. See, this understanding is very much required when you talk about the discussion on this. Right? So let me summarize what I have just started. I am saying that we have a real life problem in the business organizations. We convert them into mathematical expression with the help of numbers and letters. Once we combine them, it takes the shape of mathematical expression. Mathematical expressions can be represented in the form of mathematical function. How? I have just discussed it with you, that this is y equal to fx, this like this one. So mathematical expressions, right? This is the way, right? Here in this mathematical expression, this is the way that you write y equal to fx, y equal to z equal to this. Here we have another classification that x is considered as an independent variable and y is considered as a dependent variable. In other words, you put the value of x, you are putting the value of x like 2, like 3, like 5, like 7. And after putting the value of x, you are getting the value of y, like 10, like 12, like 13. So the variable which you put the value is independent, and the value that you obtained after putting the value of x is considered to be as dependent variable. So before I move ahead, any doubt, any confusion? Feel free
No,
to.
sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Here, sir.
Sir, it is clear, sir.
It's okay. Fine. Thank you. So this is what we have. Now let me start with the exact expression of this function. If this is clear to you, I'm talking directly on functions. So I'm saying that y equal to f, take bracket, x, right? This is the function notation. This can be like y equal to 3x plus y equal to 3x plus 6. So y fx, what is this fx? This fx is this 3x plus 6. The exact mathematical relationship. What is there? There is a mathematical relationship between x and y. So exact mathematical relationship between x and y is this: y equal to 3x plus 6. This one. So y equal to 3x plus 6. Now you have one side you have y, on the other side you have x, the small x, for example, small x. Now what you need to do is you need to put the value of x. For example, you put the value of x as 2. So if you put
12.
the value of x as 2, how much is the value of y that you obtain?
12.
12.
12.
Sir.
12.
Good. If you put the
Bara.
value of x as minus 1, how much value you obtain from y?
3.
3, sir.
Yeah, this is what I'm telling you, that you are putting the value of x and you are getting the value of y. That is why x is considered to be the independent variable and y is considered to be a dependent variable, and the mathematical relationship between them is y equal to 3x plus 6. This relationship is, we call them as mathematical expression, we call them as mathematical relation, we call them as function. We have y equal to 3x plus 6. right? I can change this expression. For example, in place of plus, I would put it as minus. In place of 3, what I can do, I can put, for example, 6. This, uh, you know, different types of mathematical relationship between x and y is what we have, the functional relationship between x and y, where we put the value of independent variable and we get the value of dependent variable. Okay? One thing
Yes, sir.
which you can understand with this expression is that y equal to, for example, I have just mentioned 3x plus. One thing which you can see from this expression, which is very specific to this, is what? Can you tell me? I'm saying that if you see this expression, this function, this mathematical expression, this relationship, you will infer one very important thing. What is this?
It's a linear problem.
Ah, exactly. What I am is that I am taking only the variable x as a power of 1. We have taken it as a power of 1, right? We have not taken the power exactly 2, 3 or all. But let me clear at this point of time that relationships are not only linear, the relationships can also be non-linear. तो ये जो relationship आपके पास है, ये इसे हम कहते हैं we have linear relationship. Linear relationship. Linear function in the language of the linear function. But that doesn't mean that we have non-linear. In fact, most of the time, practically speaking, the relationship is non-linear. Relationship is non-linear. We have mathematics with linear function, that is y equal to 3x plus 6 or something like that, because it is easy to understand and it is easy to explain. That's one very, very important thing about linear function. So at this point of time, we would like to restrict ourselves on the discussion of linear functions only so that you will understand it better. Any doubt, any confusion? Yeah, solely. That is why it is linear. Because the independent variable raised to the power 1 is considered to be like this one. So I can write f, the same expression, I can write fx equal to 3x plus 6. इसी को मैंने बस इसको एक्सप्लेन कर दिया. This is y equal to fx equal to this same. So y equal to, y is the function of x, and what is the relationship? Y equal to 3x plus 6. This expression is what you need to understand, and this is a linear relationship between x and y. That is the relationship between independent variable and dependent variable. जब हमें फर्स्ट टाइम ये कंसेप्ट पढ़ाया गया फंक्शन का 11th क्लास में, और तो सबसे पहले ये रिलेशनशिप हमने फिजिक्स के अंदर देखा, एंड वी वर अनेबल टू अंडरस्टैंड कि एग्जैक्टली ये हो क्या रहा है, कैसे ये एक्सप्रेशन बन रही है, क्या इसमें टी क्या है, वी क्या है, पर्टिकुलर
Sir, your voice is breaking.
expressions पे भी आए. Yeah, when you talk about the application of this function in business organization, you should first of all learn the lesson of writing it down and properly understand that you are writing a mathematical relationship between independent variable and dependent variable. And I hope so that those who are learning this concept for the first time, they must practice of writing as many function as possible. जितना फंक्शंस आप लिखेंगे, आप समझेंगे, उतना ही आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बनेगी कि लिखना कैसे. बाकी सारी स्टोरी तो हो ही जाएगी, बाकी सारी चीजें तो कैलकुलेट हो ही जाएंगी. सबसे पहले हमें ये समझना जरूरी है कि हम क्या लिख रहे हैं. क्या हम ये समझ पा रहे हैं कि डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल क्या है? क्या हम ये समझ पा रहे हैं कि इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल क्या है? क्या हम ये समझ पा रहे हैं कि इन दोनों के बीच में मैथमेटिकल रिलेशनशिप एग्जैक्टली है क्या? और अगर नहीं है तो डू वी नीड टू फाइंड इट आउट? दैट्स So the discussion here is, now I'm rubbing it down, and you know, the beauty of mathematical expression is always like this one. Mathematical analysis is that we always have a general form. What I mean to say by general form is that I can write it down y equal to, I can simply write a plus b x. This general form is always there, and this is the general form of the relationship y equal to a plus bx, where y is dependent variable, x is independent variable, and a and b are two numbers. Like here we have 3 and 6. This
So constants, can we say?
no, I'm not saying at the constant intentionally. because here I'm coming to that point later, what is constant and what is not constant. अभी सिर्फ मैंने ये कहा कि this is x which is dependent, this is y which is dependent, this is x which is independent. Now let me focus on this part first of all. The number which is attached with this x, this number we call it as, in the language we call it them as, I'm just putting it down, we call them as, sorry, small b, call it as coefficient. Call it as coefficient. B is known as coefficient.
Coefficient.
Of what? Coefficient of x. अगर आपको किसी को बताना है कि what is b, so you should have to tell them the coefficient of x. B is the coefficient of x. And all the thing after this, that is all the thing, if you delete this bx, all the remaining thing is considered to be constant. That is a, for example, a is equal to, that is constant. A is, so b is the coefficient of x and a is constant. So here in this expression, if you see, ये जो expression है, what is coefficient? 3. Coefficient of what? X. And what is remaining? Remaining 6, which is considered to be constant. I hope I'm able to make you understand this point.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ये हमें बहुत जरूरी समझना है कि कोफिशिएंट वो होता है जो वेरिएबल के साथ लगा हुआ होता है. दिस इज कोफिशिएंट. बी इज कोफिशिएंट. पी ना होता यहाँ पे जेड होता, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. जेड ना होता यहाँ पे आर होता, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. पी होता, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. डजंट मेक एनी डिफरेंस. व्हाट मेक्स अ डिफरेंस इज दैट a number which is attached with x is coefficient and all the remaining thing is considered, that is the number is this a is constant. ये a भी हो सकता है, ये c भी हो सकता है, ये d भी हो सकता है, ये m भी हो सकता है. इसका कोई रेलेवेंस नहीं है कि ये क्या है. m है, n है, n है, it doesn't make any difference at all. So don't think कि मैंने यहाँ a लिखा है तो हमेशा a ही मिलेगा आपको लिखा हुआ. No, not always a. It can be anything. The point is that you should conceptually understand that this is the constant a and this is the coefficient b which I am going to give it to you. So don't try to make it find it out that this is the expression that you always get. You need to remember, आपको हमेशा याद रखना है कि this is dependent variable, this is a which is constant, this is independent variable and the number attached with this is considered to be the coefficient. This is very, very important thing that you need to understand. Yeah. Any confusion, any question from your side, any clarification?
No, sir.
Please,
Everything is clear.
yeah, please feel free to discuss anything which is not clear to you, because I believe that there are certain students who are not from the background of maths and who have studied all this concept up till class 10th, and it's now a long gap. So there's no need to hesitate. Whatever small queries you have, raise it, discuss. That is the
Sir,
whole
can you-
purpose of discussion. Yes.
Sir, can you please tell about the concept of dependent and independent variable again? Because sir, actually your voice was glitching due to my poor connectivity and I couldn't really understand it.
No problem. I'm saying this y. Is this visible to you? Y? Y?
Yes, sir, it is.
Y is dependent variable. This is dependent. What is this? This is dependent. This is dependent. This is dependent. This is dependent.
As in the value of y depends on x.
X. This is
Okay.
independent. This is independent variable. Independent variable. Now, what in simple language, if suppose a student of class 6 asks this question to you, what is independent variable? What is dependent variable? How do you explain them? कि independent क्या होता है और dependent क्या होता है? Independent is simply the value which you put in the expression. जो वैल्यू हम पुट करते हैं एक्सप्रेशन में वो इंडिपेंडेंट है, दैट इज एक्स. और हमारी वैल्यू रखने के बाद जो वैल्यू ऑब्टेन होती है, निकलती है, दैट इज डिपेंडेंट. सो इफ आई पुट x इज इक्वल टू, सपोज आई पुट x इज इक्वल टू 2, इफ आई पुट x इज इक्वल टू 2 एंड यू गेट द वैल्यू ऑफ y कमिंग आउट टू बी 3, फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे मैंने एक्सप्रेशन में ये कहा था पुट x इज इक्वल टू 2. So if you put x is equal to 2 in this expression, put x is equal to 2 here. अगर आपने x is equal to 2 रखा है यहाँ पर, so what you will get? You will get 12. So this y equal to 12 is dependent on x is equal to 2. So all the value that we put is independent and all the value that we obtained is dependent. I hope I'm able to make you understand this one now. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now there are many examples. If I get down to this, if I come down, as I have already discussed with you, the examples are cost, for example, cost. Just give me 1 minute. Just get my charger. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this
Yes,
is
sir.
it's okay. So let me see cost, for example. So if I write the cost function, for example, C function of x is equal to n
क्या हो गया आवाज कम आ रही भाई
सर का कनेक्शन लॉस हो गया क्या?
Sir, you are not audible, sir.
and also not visible. शुरू से ही थोड़ा थोड़ा ग्लिच हो रहा था
Please tell me someone is recording this meeting.
मीटिंग
I couldn't hear a thing. I couldn't hear a thing. I couldn't see a thing.
सब
सर
अच्छा
ज्वाइन
हो
हो गए
गया आसान है आसान अल्जेब्रिक एक्सप्रेशंस है बस
जितने मैथ्स वाले हैं वो तो सब बता देंगे आराम से.
हाँ ये हो सकता है
am I audible to you now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Indeed, sir.
Sir, you are audible, sir.
क्या डिस्कशन चल रहा है आप लोगों को ग्रुप में? भाई आप ये तो नहीं कह रहे कि अरे कुछ पढ़ा नहीं पा रहे सर
नहीं
No,
सर.
no,
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 sir.
No,
no,
sir.
Not at all, sir.
अच्छा
you are explaining very good
Yes, sir.
exceptionally well
Yes, sir, you're doing a great job.
नहीं मैंने ये बात इसलिए नहीं कही कि आप मेरे वो करें लेकिन मैंने सिर्फ इसलिए कहा कि भाई ऑफ द ट्रैक पता नहीं क्या आप डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं चलिए ओके
No, sir. Actually, some of us are facing connectivity issues, right? So we were
नहीं
discussing
I'm
about.
just joking I understand so let me move ahead and I'm just giving the example is this okay I'm just sharing it down first because there is some connectivity error at my end so I'm just opening my word file once again is this word file visible to all of you
yes sir
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, it is visible, sir.
थोड़ा सा म्यूट करो I request all of you to kindly put yourself on mute mode right so this is the cost function cx we have 10 plus 3x so this 10 is the constant and this 3 is the coefficient 10 this one similarly if this is the revenue function for example this is the revenue function capital R in bracket we have x we have this one equal to 12x minus 6 No problem. Change the expression 12x minus 6, but the meaning will remain the same. What is the coefficient? 12. What is the constant? Minus 6.
Minus 6.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Minus 6 is the constant and 12 is the. Always remember that you have to compare this thing with a plus bx. इस expression से हमेशा compare करना है हमें. So we have this way, we have 12 as b and minus 6 as constant. So with cost and revenue, and with the help of cost and revenue, what I can do, I can find out the expression for, I can find the expression for profit, px. I hope you remember px equal to revenue function x minus the cost function. This concept you might have learned, and if you have not learned it, you will learn it in your paper of accounting, that profit is equal to nothing but revenue minus cost. तो ये सब एक्सप्रेशन अभी आपके पास आएंगे, ये एप्लीकेशंस हम आपको बताएंगे कि फंक्शंस में हम कैसे we put the concept of functions into the calculation of profit, revenue, cost, all in the coming classes that I am going to engage with you. So today, because the planning is that slowly I will give you the concept. I have started a quick summary. I started my discussion with the motto, with the objective that how to convert real life problem into mathematical expressions. Expressions can be like this one, which I have told you. Later on, we progress to function, which is another way of writing the same thing. It's nothing but it is another way of writing the same thing. We have a popular expression y equal to fx. Then we have, I explained you the linear function primarily, which is y equal to a plus bx. And then I told you the application of this cost function in cost, revenue, and profit. We have some very good examples whereby you can understand it better with the help of calculations, which I will take up inshallah tomorrow. Okay?
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Namaskar.